Good morning. Today we're going to do as I've done several times and um, run through how this novel does things that other novels have done, um, and talk about how a lot of that requires layers and how a lot of that is good storytelling, I think. So this is second verse, same as the first. The Star-Crossed Lovers. Star-Crossed Lovers appears several times in the book. Um, Haymitch mentions it. You're the star-crossed lovers from District 12. And then PETA, when he runs off with the careers, has messed up the star-crossed lovers dynamic. And then later on, apparently PETA had not messed up the star-crossed lovers dynamic. He had been playing the angle all along, pretending to join the careers to help Katniss out to save her from any problems that the careers might give her. And then the star-crossed lover thing becomes essential to keeping PETA alive, to giving the sponsor, to get helping Haymitch get sponsors, and so that the sponsors can get them the broth, and the sponsors can get them the food, and the sponsors can get them the weapons, all of that sort of stuff. And then the star-crossed lover thing, and you've got the teary-eyed kiss and the teary-eyed people in the Capitol, and we're using that term star-crossed lover one more time. Star-crossed lover is an allusion to Romeo and Juliet. The very beginning of the play of Romeo and Juliet talks about two houses, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life. And then it goes on from there. But the very beginning, the prologue of Romeo and Juliet, uses the term star-crossed lovers, which means that anybody reading the book and thinking about star-crossed lovers should be thinking about Romeo and Juliet. And if they are thinking about Romeo and Juliet, they should also be thinking about the fact that this romance is doomed, that this romance is doomed to failure. But let's take it a step further. I said there were layers. Let's look at those layers. Romeo confesses his love for Juliet in an orchard where her kinsmen would kill him if they found him. That's part of the big orchard scene, the big balcony scene where it's Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? That whole scene, Juliet says, this place is death to you if my kinsmen find you. PETA confesses his love for Katniss before they're going to face death in the arena. Again, the first confession of love has a tinge of death around it. Romeo and Juliet are assisted by the nurse. She's a comical character. Several times she asks for aqua vitae, which is the water of life, but also it's usually a brandy or a whiskey or something like that that can cause death, or not cause death, can cause drunkenness. I guess death if you drink too much. They're assisted by Haymitch. Haymitch is frequently drunk, probably, again, water of life. And they even rationalize that because he's had to send so many kids to the arena, it's probably why he drinks. We've got Friar Lawrence performing a wedding for ulterior motive of ending the feud. And we've got the romance performed for the ulterior motive of getting the sponsors. There are kisses in the tomb. Juliet fakes her death. Romeo doesn't know it's faked, so he shows up at the tomb. He gives her a kiss before he commits suicide, and she gives him a kiss before she commits suicide. But that tomb is a dark, place, kind of perhaps half subterranean. There's all the making out in the cave. Again, the subterranean, dark, dank place. There's the double suicide. Katniss and PETA threaten double suicide. And we knew from the start of Romeo and Juliet that that romance was destined to fail. They were star-crossed lovers, and star-crossed lovers here should have been a big hint that the romance was destined to fail. We've talked about a talisman before, and we've talked about the need for the talisman to have layers. And I think Collins does a good job of creating layers for a talisman in this novel. And so I wanted to illustrate not necessarily that the pin is a talisman, but I wanted to illustrate the layers. It begins just as an object in Madge's dress. It takes on a little more significance because Madge gives it to Katniss, asks her to wear it in the arena. So now it's a little bit of a duty. It's a little bit of a connection to home. Katniss realizes that the pin's a Mockingjay, and she has this connection to the Mockingjays because her father liked the Mockingjays. And so now when she puts it on her shirt, it's not just a gift from home. It's not just a thing that was on Madge's dress. It's now a thing that reminds her of her father. It's a connection to her father. So we're going step by step, adding more and more meaning to this thing as we go. Then later, Cinna puts the pin on her shirt, tells her to verily pass the review board because it might give her an unfair advantage. So again, this pin seems to have importance. It's caught the sight of the gamekeepers. It's caught the sight of the people in the Capitol. It gives her something extra. She had forgotten about it, but now she has reacquired it. So now it's taking on a new importance. It's going to her father. It perhaps is something that can help her. It is something that can be seen as an advantage. It adds layers because Rue likes Mockingjays, and Rue talks about the Mockingjays carrying messages. And when Katniss tries to give it to Rue, we realize that there are more layers because the pin made her trust Katniss. She likes how the pin looks on Katniss, and now she attaches it to the idea of a good luck charm because Rue has her own. So now not only is it a thing from back home, not only is it a thing from her father, not only is it a thing that can give her an advantage, it is a good luck charm that provokes trust. So far, so good. And then she, we hammer that home in the emotional scene when she thinks of her father and Rue, when she hears the Mockingjay and she grabs the pin with the Mockingjay. Now the Mockingjays warn Katniss and Peeta of Cato's approach. So now the Mockingjay and the pin and the connection to the pin, and that's all on page 329. It's all within a couple of paragraphs. The pin and the Mockingjay saved her life. Perhaps it gave her, that unfair advantage. And then there's nothing left. Page 370. There's nothing left to take but the Mockingjay pin Madge gave me. It's the only thing she can pick up from her apartment or her room back in the Capitol. It's the thing that she takes home. So the Talisman has gone through this whole list or this whole section of things, and it's just been layered with meaning as we go through the entire book. The Mockingjay pin has this, takes on all the qualities of a talisman. This is new, but I think it's important to set this up. We're going to talk about this in Hatchet. We're going to talk about this in the Marrow Thieves. We're going to talk about the idea of wonder and awe. We might even mention it in the Black Panther with the idea of tech being part of wonder and awe. In the Knife of Never Letting Go, we had an example of wonder and awe when they were in the middle of that herd. And the sound of the noise from the herd, the repeat, the song of here, not the son of here, the song of here. It's taking over the running of their body that was all there is in the world. That's an example of wonder and awe being created. In the Hunger Games, the music of the Mockingjays gave us this sense of wonder and awe. It became this lovely, brilliant, unearthly melody that swelled. And as it did so, it caused her to grab the pin. It caused her to connect back to Rue, to connect back to her father, and ultimately it probably saved her life. The idea of wonder and awe, I think, is important, and I don't know if I've covered it enough. I want to make sure that we see that it's been in several novels before we get to it in the next couple. Okay, remember, you've got the quiz coming up shortly. I hope everybody has a good day, and we'll see you in class next time.